chrome wheels are the move, man. Chrome bill before the phone bill, always.
Is that like you're buying chrome wheels before paying your like bills?
That's literally what I just said.
I just never heard that. My favorite thing is taking people for their first ride along. They take off the helmet and they're just cheesing, and they're like watching the video they just took back.
Shaking all over. They can't even see what they're watching. People are always going to bitch about KBD.
Yeah.
You guys. It's awesome.
It hits different when a 13-year-old is like mid. Like, you can't even drive. Yeah, I mean, they're chuggy, but I was like...
Chuggy? What the hell does that mean?
Chuggy?
Chuggy.
Yeah, it's
That's a word?
Yeah.
What the... Welcome back to the #1 Drift Podcast on YouTube, presented by Enjuku Racing. I am Dawson, and today we have...
I'm Morgan Drifts, and I'm super excited to be like the first female, the first lady, and hopefully I can do them some justice and not like give them someone to like look forward to. But yeah.
Cool. Hell yeah. All right. Well, before we get into it, of course, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So look below the video if the button's still red. Go ahead and click it and hit that bell notification while you're at it so you're always updated with each episode. And as you can tell, I have the new merch on. So go grab it. I think you have until tomorrow to get entered into the $250 Enjuku Credit if you order one. Yeah, do that if you want one. If not, appreciate you watching. And I have a test day the 20th for the Z as well. So if any of you guys want me to vlog that or anything, let me know in the comments. Yeah, that's all I got. So if you want to kind of give yourself more of an introduction on who you are.
Yeah. So I drift only Chevys, only LS engines.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Only 240s.
Gotcha.
God's engine there. No, so I am Morgan Drifts. I drift primarily Mustangs, really anything Ford is kind of my collection, I would say.
All of it. Literally all of it.
Yeah.
She pulled up in a Ford truck.
Yeah. And like before that I had like a Ford Taurus. It was my daily. So yeah, it's all been Fords.
Hey, those things are bulletproof. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. They're really comfy because they sit on the Explorer like platform. So you feel like you're in an SUV, but you're in like a nice sedan.
It's on it. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's
I
like...
didn't know that.
You'll have to fact check me, but like what I was like
They
told.
got you.
I know, they're like, dumb lady. And that's putting it nicely. But it's like they sit on like basically the same kind of like frame structure that the Explorers do, because they're like the same width and everything, but you're lower to the ground. Wild. Yeah. It's comfortable. And it's a cop car, so they like leave you alone, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe maybe that's why they use them as cop cars.
Probably.
Or do they still?
I think so. I think they use that in the Explorers.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about that.
Tangent. But so yeah, and then I have been drifting for, I want to say 3 years. I think this is maybe my 4th year. I don't know. I started in like the end of 2020. I did one event, so I don't really count that. And then 2021, I actually like started. So. Okay.
So you're still fairly new to drifting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the first year, I think I did like maybe 3 or 4 events. But yeah, at the beginning of like 2020, I was like, I want to drift. And then, you know, what happened?
We are.
Yeah. World shut down. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's like kind of a rundown of me, but I also work in marketing for K&N.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. K&N's also, that's one of Enjuku's. What did you say? You said umbrella? Is that what the term is?
Yeah, it's their
umbrella.
They're like a dealer. I think that like they have a dealer account with us, so they can sell our stuff.
You don't know how that started, did you?
No.
Or do you?
No.
Okay, cool. Anyways, we'll move on.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess give a rundown on the current car.
Okay. Current car is a SN95 New Edge. It is called an SN95, even though that's going to be a trending topic, I think. It's 2,000 on the dot, and then it's a 4.6 2-valve, but it's got like some baby cams that have been like discontinued, air intake, exhaust. Like it's a pretty stock 2-valve, but I have the 410 gears, so that's kind of what, I don't know, make it look like I think I have more power than I do. Yeah. And then all Scotty D, race development, angle kit, handbrake, and BC Racing coilovers, Status Racing seats. I think that's like the main like components that make the car.
Yeah.
So
pretty simple car.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, do you have the what is the Cobra rear end or whatever?
No, the IRS.
IRS.
I
That's what it's
wish.
called, yeah.
It's a rabbit hole though. I mean, I actually have a stock LSD in that car. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
not even welded or anything.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's gnarly. And if like people would
Why haven't you welded that? Can you not weld the Mustang LSDs?
You can. I mean, ask Matt and Scotty. They need to do it. They just need to take my car from me and fucking weld the diff. It's like with the C clips, like the way the axles are, it takes someone who knows what they're doing. It's not like a 350Z diff you can pull out and like you could weld it after watching a YouTube video. You have to like heat it up.
The LSDs on 350Zs, you literally just take it out, pull the case off, and there's holes around it. Just stick the MIG in there and just start dumping weld.
Yeah, it's the Mustang rear end. Like whenever like we pulled the diff off, or the cover off to do the handbrake, it was gnarly. I was like, that's confusing. So it does take someone who knows what they're doing, and it's like a built diff. So I didn't want to just give it to anybody and have them like mess it up, and then we have to go get a junkyard one and like possibly get a bad one. So yeah, it is gnarly. You can feel it if you know what you're doing in a drift car. If you get in like ride with me, you can actually feel it when I use it to like hook the car up and unhook the car. So I do like use it with the throttle.
Got a whole foot dance you do just to keep it sideways.
A little bit. It's hard to tandem.
That sounds annoying.
Yeah. I think the hardest part is
hence why we're building another.
Hence why we're getting rid of it. Well, not rid of it. But it'll be a party car, but it will be welded. Right now, if I try to like tandem with someone that's slower and I'm not like chasing them, if I like pull the handbrake and I have to like get off the gas, it grips and straightens. So it's I can drive really good on the sim and like tandem, but then I like try to recreate it in my car, and as soon as they like kind of like slow down and I have to check up, it's just flips me back.
It wants you straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mustang problems.
Yeah.
And why did you go Mustang again? Why are you a Ford person? No. Okay, so who kind of, I guess, were you before cars, before all of this in general? What did you do? What was your hobbies, stuff like that?
I don't like. I was in like when I was younger, I was into skateboarding, like filming, videography, photography, stuff like that. But I always like loved cars. Like I watched NASCAR as a kid. I like would buy like.
Did you have family members that were into cars and stuff? Maybe
my dad, but he didn't really have anything cool at the time. Like he kind of
like knew about cars.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, that's a fucking Plymouth 19.
Yeah, because
whatever.
his like parents had like some hot rods and stuff, but he knew of them. He just wasn't that into them.
Yeah.
And then before cars, kind of like the same. I feel like if you were a skateboarder or a BMXer, it's just your path that you're going on is going to be cars. So that kind of yeah. Everyone that's into cars, I would say, has that kind of background.
Yeah. BMX.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Yeah. Probably the better one. Couldn't skateboard that good, but
I tried that too. I was horrible at it.
Yeah. It's dangerous. I would say more dangerous. Ballsy. Yeah. But yeah, so that I was like mediocre at all that kind of stuff. And then my dad bought his first Mustang in 2005 or 2004, I guess. It was like the first year for the S197. And like it's a V6 automatic, but I was like, this is my thing. I was like, this is my whole personality.
It's the greatest car in the world.
Yeah. I was like, I love this thing. Like I felt so cool. Like when he would like take me to school or pick me up, like I was like, I'm the coolest person here, and it's a V6 Mustang.
Hey, that shit was fast back in the day, I guess.
It kind of was. I mean, it was nice. It was like the nice dark blue.
I was sarcastic as fuck.
No, I mean back in the day.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
Probably wasn't fast, but since it was like the first year for that, it was talked about all the time. Like he had like one of the coolest cars because it was like Gen 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got that, and then slowly started my addiction. When we had that for like a year, and on the way to school, we'd pass this like 69 fastback that was, I mean, it's tattered. Like it was, 6 different colors. Like the engine was like half out of it, and it had like half a tarp on it that had been like withered away. But I was like, I want that one. And my dad was like, no. And then
They just literally just drove it from a barn fine.
Yeah. One day he's like, all right, let's get in the car. And then he goes and we go pick up the 69 Fastback, and he's like, this can be our project one day. That project is still sitting in the garage and there's no engine in it.
The engine make it so far.
The engine like sat on our dining room table for I don't know, my whole entire childhood. See, and now it's his retirement project. And then he's like, but now you race cars. So like, I don't know when I'm going to like retire in a sense and be able to like dedicate fixing this up. So I'm like, what's that TV show where they come in and they take the car and they redo it?
Like back in the day?
Yeah.
Pimp My Ride?
Or no, it was
Dude,
I don't need a goldfish tank.
There's some wild stories about the cars that happened after that, but we won't get into. If y'all want to hear about that, we can. Just let me know. But
yeah, I think it was like something like where they come in and they take like an old barn find that you've had sitting around forever, and they fix it up, and then they surprise you or whatever.
I was never really into those shows.
Yeah, I mean they're chuggy, but I was like,
chuggy? What the hell does that mean?
Chuggy?
Chuggy.
Yeah,
that's a word.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's like when a boomer is doing something like cringe. It's like a new cringe. It's like chuggy.
I'm out of touch or something. I don't know. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, I was like, man, I'll be happy if that ever happens. And I'm like manifesting it because I'm like, that would be so cool. Like, I love a 69 Fastback and like black interior and just be able to like take it out on Sundays. And black exterior, like just black it out, all of it. But, one day.
Yeah. You don't think it, like, if you used it for content purposes? Or is that more sentimental type car?
It's just so much work.
Oh, yeah, it's just too much to,
yeah,
okay.
I'm like,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we need to be on TJ Hunt, Adam LZ level.
Yeah.
To take on some shit like that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you like the KBD kit that you got?
I do.
Because I hear a lot of misconceptions with that. A lot of Mustang owners are mad about that kit, which people get so mad about KBD shit for some reason. It's so funny. But yeah, let me know.
Yeah, like my following, my friends are more Mustang oriented than drift oriented. So I knew posting that kit was going to get probably more like mixed reactions because
every time.
Yeah. New Edge owners, like the fact that I run a Cobra bumper like pisses off enough people sometimes, but it's the only bumper that looks good on them. Like it was.
Yeah.
So it's a very like prideful thing to run Mustang specific things and not make the Mustang look like not a Mustang. But I got overwhelmingly good response at Mustang Week, and like because my car kind of looks like a 240, like the hood and the 326 wing. So I think that it's changing, but there is that elitist group that, I don't know, my DMs were blown up for weeks where it was like, how dare you? Like, this is terrible. But I think there's a few people that's painted it and wrapped it, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think I'll try to wrap it and maybe have it on for Ponies in the Smokies, but those are also like really low roads. So like there's a lot of bumps and stuff, and I think it'll come off. I think if I drifted with it.
Did it make your car like a lot more body kit low?
Yeah, it did. And I'm quite lifted. I am surprised. Like I was surprised to see there's one guy who his is very low, like very, very low. And the kit actually doesn't touch the ground.
It's a lot of work on those cars to make them that low, doesn't it?
Yeah. The main issue again is the rear end.
Yeah, of course. Always.
Yeah. Scotty took one look at my ride height when we did the angle kit, and he said, I'm changing this. He's like, you're hitting.
Gotta go.
Yeah. He's like, you're hitting everything in the rear. That's why your transitions are like funky, and that's why it looks like shit and it has body roll. And then he set it up, and I have not touched it since. So.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. I just yell at him. I'm like, hey, it's doing this. And he's like,
do the thing.
Make it do the thing.
Hell yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, I'm painting mine. I'm going to be doing that here shortly. I got to get the paint. I have the clear, and the gun and all that shit, I'm gonna do like a temporary kind of booth setup. But
Yeah.
not very many people have painted the kit that I have either, so I
Yeah.
feel you. It's kind of like in that area where you got to get over the unpainted kits everywhere. And once you start seeing some that are actually painted, it makes it more acceptable, I feel like.
Yeah.
Which, anyways, people are always going to bitch about KBD.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys. That shit's awesome.
It was funny. I posted a TikTok how it was like rolled up in the box.
Yeah.
And I was like, inflation's getting to everybody. This company like ruined my body kit to send it to me. So many people missed it. And like there was a few that was like, look at her profile. Like she obviously knows what she's talking about. But some were like, just sit it out in the sun. And I'm like,
you fucking dweebs.
like, thank you for the engagement. But you know, it just went over a lot of their heads, which is kind of what I was trying to do. But I was surprised at how many people thought I was just an idiot.
Yeah, especially on TikTok because they're all young.
Yeah.
So half of them.
It hits different when a 13-year-old is like mid. I'm like, you can't even drive.
It seems to be a pattern of the comments that I get are like, the ones talking shit about the kit are like stock Miata owners. And like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, you don't even have a kit. And on top of that, you have a Miata. So it's like, Miatas are cool and all, whatever, I get it. But there was once upon a time the designated chick car or designated gay car. Anyways, we'll move on from there. So, didn't you used to do like photography and stuff back in the day? So is that what kind of got you into like more into cars?
Pretty much, yeah. I started like doing photography like for cars, like at local car shows where the coolest thing was like a stock Civic that just rolled off the dealership floor. Because I came from a small town. But then I slowly started getting into drifting and shooting drifting. And I was like, oh, this looks way better than just a stock Civic in like a donut bank parking lot at a Cars and Coffee. So I was doing photography for like a couple years back in MDU's phase, like Streets of Detroit.
Damn, I wish I was around.
Insane. Still one of the best events that has ever been held. But yeah, like I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I looked at those people and I was like, I'll never be able to do that. So I'll just get really good at photography. And then, you know, I did donuts and a 350Z and I was like, oh, because I had built my original Mustang to drag race. And then as soon as I did the donuts, I was like, I'm not going in a straight line.
Switching it up. What's drag racing again? I forgot.
I'm not going to speak on that because Mustang people love drag racing and I might get into it at some point. But it's just, I don't know.
To me, it's one of those things of like, once you already have the money and you've already kind of accomplished most of what you want in drifting, then you can just piss away your money doing it. But other than that, I don't see the worth in it. But then again, they say the same shit about us, which we're fucking retarded anyway. So
yeah,
we have not much room to talk.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So cameras to drifting. That's what started it.
Yep.
So whenever did you turn the 350Z into a drift car? Is that what the next step was?
So that was my ex's at the time. And
okay.
Yeah. And it was just the stock 350Z with like the GK Tech like bolt-on kit at the time. So like the best thing to kind of be like, here's an introduction.
Yeah.
And then I scheduled my first drift event, which was in 2020, and it was the Drift Kitchen event. Okay. And I took my 2012 50. Again, rear end was built for drag racing. And I was like, let me see what it can do.
Oh, no.
So I got humbled real fast because I was cooking the donuts in the 350Z. And my S197, it was like the 2012 body style. It had electronic power steering, which is, that can be a whole...
Not that great on that car.
Yeah. And I'm like in the donut line and Reese... Marin, I think, is it Marin or Marin?
Yeah.
Reese Marin. He was like, okay, like I want you to try this. And as I'm trying and I'm struggling and like I'm kind of getting some donuts down, but I hadn't made like a clean one. He's like looking like something's wrong here, and the wheels were just chirping. They wouldn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were just locked. So I got one down at like the end of like the day, like the last 30 minutes. I did one. And I kept it going for a while.
Wheel hopping the entire time?
It was in and out. Yeah. I think I finally had like the wheel speed up. But I quickly realized I was like, this, it was an expensive one too, because it was like a rare package and grabber blue. And, you know, I didn't have the money to wreck that car learning. So I sold it like a weekend later. I posted it like the next day for sale online. I was like, someone come and get this thing. I sold it to a kid that lives maybe 45 minutes from me because I was like, I'm going to buy it back one day. So just hold it for now. And then I got a 2003 G35 sedan.
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I hated it.
Really?
It almost like completely like ended my drifting career.
Why? The hell?
I think that if you don't like what you're driving, you're not going to have fun.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
that's understandable.
It was the educationally correct vehicle to choose because the sedan, the like slower transitions, the low horsepower. But I feel like I picked it up quicker than most. And so I hit that point really quick where I was like bored. I was like, I can only do so much in this. And I was going to trade it for a 350Z. Like I was looking on Facebook Marketplace and my car had been posted, the SN95, with the tag like trade for a 350Z. So it came up. I immediately said, send me a video of it running. The dude like started it up, revved it. I was like, I will be there in 2 days with the money. I was like, this is my car.
That's hilarious.
So that saved me. Like I spent every event pretty much, like the last like 6 events with the G35 crying. Like I would like leave crying because I was like, this is so stupid. Like I'm not having fun. It's frustrating. Like it's just boring. And it's so much effort to drift. It's the towing there, towing back. Like it's just all kinds of like effort. And then I got the Mustang, did one event.
That's all the same shit you would be doing with this car though.
But yeah, so that's the thing is like I got the Mustang, did one event at the end of, I want to say like 21. Because I only had the G for like a year.
Yeah.
And I spun out at every corner. I could not link the track. And I was the biggest smile on my face. I was like, I don't care. This is
it's just about the challenge. You needed something to...
And the car. I you know...
Well, okay, yeah.
I like driving V8s. And it's fun. And it's just also... I would take the G to like a Cars and Coffee. People would be like, okay, like that's cool. But driving around like a V8, like a cammed V8 on the weekends to like car shows, like that's fun. Still, you know, like you have a cruiser car.
I mean, my little computer mouse with an RB in it gets smashed.
I mean, yeah, but if that's what you find fun, that's what's the most important. Because if you just get a car that...
I'm just not a muscle car guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it.
I couldn't tell because of the RB mouse, you know?
Yeah. And then a rotary sitting in the driveway.
Yeah.
Stay far away from them, but I tow with it.
Yeah. Okay,
so I guess let's jump into why are you starting to break away from this car and move into the S197?
This is going to be, you know, everyone's going to be like, okay. More horsepower, more fun.
Yeah.
You know?
The next challenge.
Yeah, like I, in 2020, dude, the years after 2020, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, I got to drive Robert Thorne's Pro Spec car. After that, I was like, I need this. Like, I don't need that much, but...
Horsepower hunger.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to do it in second. And he's like, no, third. And I was in second. I was about to initiate, and he clicked it in third for me, and it just blew the wheels off. And then, you know, I was like, that feeling, like even when I do it on certain tracks, when I click third in the Mustang and it initiates for me, that's so much fun. Like... And it just...
That's so crazy, like, the differences that people have in that aspect.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't give a flying fuck about that. I mean, like, if you got a quick change or something, and that sounds really cool. But, like, why the fuck would I ever need a dog box? I'm not doing comps.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know if you are. We can get into that.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I just... It's crazy, because, like, to me, what I'm having fun is when there's, like, 3 or 4 cars all in a row tandeming together.
Yeah.
And it's like chaos to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Low power. I care to push any more than like 450 on my car, which might
Which that's
sound kind of a lot.
that's
But
what I'm at. I mean, the new build is target range is under 500, above 4. So just somewhere in that sweet spot.
But it was also because like I capped out what I could
Yeah.
in the stock seat too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's like one of those, like, everyone's different. And again, like I said, if it doesn't make you happy, you're not going to have fun doing it.
Mhm.
So my thing is, like, I did Grid Life Midwest in the 2-valve and it struggled. Like, and I had fun, but I was like, man, I could have more fun if I had another 200 horsepower and I could pick a line around the track and I didn't have to do the only one that my car could. So it's a balance, but my favorite thing to do is like throw big angle and big smoke and just like party that way more than like tandeming will be fun. And I hope to get good at it next year and like do those crazy trains.
I still ain't the greatest at those. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, my favorite thing is taking people for their first ride along too. And
oh yeah, that's exhilarating.
Yeah. So that's comps for me are not, you know, what I plan to do next year. It's more a lot of demo driving, just giving people the drifting experience because like that is the funnest. When we get back to grid,
that's what's most important.
Yeah, and like they take off the helmet and they're just cheesing and they're like watching the video they just took back. Like I'm like
shaking all over. They can't even see what they're watching, but they're watching it.
Yeah. So that's what it is. The reason for the new build is just more horsepower equals more fun to me. And just, I don't know, burn more tires.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fill your pocketbook.
Yeah.
Okay. So name one of the best experiences you've had giving someone a ride along and what event it was at and stuff like that.
Okay. So it was, it was NMRA last year and, it was the first time NMRA had drifting and it was in OSW. So it was like a really fun track where you could just throw big angle smoke. It was like slower driving, but it looked cool.
Yeah.
And this one girl, she is a drag racer and she followed me on TikTok and she came over with her dad and she was like, my boyfriend's learning to drift in an S13 and I'm going to make him so jealous. Like, so I put her in the car and, we got done and she's like, I'm going to send him the video and he's going to be so mad. And she's like, this was so good. You're like so much better than him. I was like, oh. And she's like, I wasn't even looking out of the windshield. I was looking out of the windows. Like she's like, I've never had that experience in a car where like I'm looking out your window and then my window. And just hearing like that, I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. Like, you know, giving that kind of experience. The worst is when like someone comes up, mainly like a bigger guy, and they can't fit in the car. And like, that's worse than heartbreak. I just look and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I feel horrible.
Yeah. So that always sucks when you have to turn down someone that, or if they're like young and the track doesn't allow under 18. That really sucks. Yeah. So, but double-edged sword.
Yeah. Have you ever taken, has anyone ever given you like a tip for ride-alongs?
Money?
Yeah.
I wish. No, I don't think so. I mean, typically like lately they'll buy a shirt or like, you know, they'll support me somehow, but
I think that's better.
Yeah, there's certain events like I think what is it? Import Alliance. They do paid ride-alongs. And that's like a cool thing, but then I think it also puts pressure on like if you didn't do like the stinkiest run and they've paid and then you're like,
oh yeah,
I spun out or like the person in front of me spun out or whatever it is, like that would put pressure, I think.
Oh, I'd feel fucking horrible.
Yeah. I'd be like, just stay in for a few more times. Like, I don't care. Like, you know.
Don't tell them. We'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll jump back on the S197. Run down what you're going to be actually physically doing to it. What parts are going to be going on it? What engine build? Like with Matt doing the Godzilla. Like, what do you think about that compared to your build? Because they're going fucking wild with this car.
I mean, can you expect anything less of Matt though? Like,
no.
Yeah. It's fun to watch what they're doing right now, and they're a few steps ahead of me, so that's nice because they're finding out all the things that would
Just
suck.
Piggybacking.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. So yeah, the new car is it's just a V6 automatic. So there's a lot to change on it. I mean, rear end, it's pretty much just the shell, which was also totaled out by hail, like back in 2007.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So it'll be new, like new hood, new front fenders, new rear fenders, like overs, full cage. Like, you know, I want it to not be able to go into like a pro like car, but I don't want any issues with any tracks. I just want it to be like safe as well. So full cage, preferably a Gen 2 Coyote. Gen 3s are they're good in my opinion, but
that's what I was about to ask. I don't know the difference, so explain that.
So Gen 1, like they'll just blow up. You know, it's like
ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Check. Got it.
Yep. Especially
Now
with the MT82. And then Gen 2 is like they started getting good, but they're affordable in my opinion. And then Gen 3 is like bulletproof, but it comes at a cost.
Of course.
So yeah,
What does the Gen 3 come in? What range? Year range?
I'll have to fact check that. I don't know what year it started. It's not like the 2020 though. I think the 2020 still has maybe 2021. I think my friend last night said that hers has a Gen 3.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's most people
Fairly
for drift
new.
cars, they'll just order them from Ford.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
just crate engine.
But like Holly doesn't have like the wiring harness for the Gen 3 yet. So that's something.
Really?
Yeah, I'd have to wait on. Like they're working on it, I believe. But Gen 2 they have, so like that'd be the quickest and easiest way to get an engine in the car would be a Gen 2 Coyote, and then unfortunately an MT82. But I kind of just want to like, I don't know, like fuck around and find out and see like how long it takes me to blow it up. Because you know it's something like everyone says they're dog shit, but I've seen them work. It just I need to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Is that the ones with do those come in the S550?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they got that shit trans mount.
I guess so. I mean,
dude, it's shit. Did you see the video I made for Matt? Oh my god, we took because he made a different one for his to sell and shit.
Yeah.
I think he's selling them. I don't know. But he replaced it, and we took that one out, and he was explaining how these things are shit. Like, feel how light it is, blah blah blah. And he was like, I bet I can break it. There's a video. You can watch it. You can watch on camera break.
Yeah. And
he slams it on the ground a few times, and it bends and like cracks in this one little area. And he was like, yeah, that's where they normally crack, but it was like a fragment crack, tiny.
Yeah.
And so he was like, actually, one more, I got this. And then he just goes, tink, and that piece where it cracked snapped right off. I was like, what the fuck?
You know, that was a really good impression that you did.
Tink.
Well, you're like, one more. Because
that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what, one more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, sorry. Did you have more on the build that you wanted to explain?
I mean, you know, I just want, the main thing is the SN95. I like how it is because it's obtainable, and I take it to a track, especially Mustang events, and someone who has one walks up and they said, you know, they'll say, how do I do this? And I list off, again, the core components, the Kbd parts, the angle kit and handbrake and the coilovers, and again, stock LSD. So I'm like, you just take those parts, put them on the car, and it'll work.
Yeah.
And they're blown away by like the fact that a couple grand in parts and they can be doing what I'm doing. So I like having that as like an inspirational piece. But the new car, like when it rolls out of the trailer, I want someone to look at it and be like, fuck. Like
that's a weapon.
Yeah. Like she's not messing around anymore. Yeah. So just super aggressive and just a smoke machine.
Okay. Hell yeah. So I guess, aren't they fairly cheap to build though, as just seat time cars? The S197s?
Yeah, the new, like the 05.
I got a couple buddies with them.
Yeah, the 05 body style is like.
So you could still talk that up, church that up.
I know. Part of me is like, do I just get another one that's like a 3-valve
hell no.
and just have like a fun 3-valve? But the things too that Matt and Scotty have told me, like about how much it'll improve my driving and how much more fun I'll have driving the S197 because of when I complain to them more than more often than not and about things I don't like about the car. They're like, all that's changed and fixed in the S197. So it should be exciting. And then they get, gradually like the 11 to 12 is not as expensive. And then the 13 to 14s, those are still going for outrageous numbers.
Those are like with the updated front end, right? Okay.
Yep. They like I would say like the shark nose is like the 11 to 12, I think is what people kind of call it. And then they have like the pig nose or like maybe even like catfish kind of. So it's
weird. You Mustang people are weird.
Kind of.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's really all I got on those. I mean, there's nothing else you want to explain on the car? Nothing secretive? Or I guess let's go with what wheels are you doing on it?
Ooh.
We haven't talked about that.
I want something chrome really bad, but I don't know. I might just go chrome on the SN95 because of the chrome livery. Because again, the new one will not have chrome on the livery. For sponsors, chrome is not great because in certain pictures you can't see who's on the car and it flashes. So I don't know, something like, again, aggressive, just insane looking, but also that can take a beating because with high horsepower comes high horsepower wrecks. Like tire dips. Like I think I'm going to be going through them. So,
or plenty of wheels stacked up, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna need like a small like collection probably to go through.
Yeah. She walked out, saw my Neos, and was like, "Damn, those are sick."
Yeah, definitely. Chrome is gonna happen on one of the cars. I just don't know which one.
Chrome wheels are the move, man. Mm-hmm. Chrome bill before the phone bill, always. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Is that like you're buying chrome wheels before paying your like bills?
That's literally what I just said.
I've just never heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. As soon as I got those, I've had probably 20, 30 people say that to me.
Dang.
I'm like, damn right.
Well, I taught you Chugi, so, Yeah.
I mean, the KMPs are nice too. I like those. But those don't come in chrome, I don't think.
I don't think so.
No. Anyways. So, you don't know which ones then? You don't have like a dead set, like, what's your dream wheel then? Let's do that. What would you love to put on there, but it's probably not practical?
I will say I love VSKFs. I'm like, just the typical, it's like the new 911 GT3 RS. Like that's like the go-to that everyone's like, what's your dream car? It's 911 GT3 RS, but
no, it's not.
I'm like, yeah, but now it's, it's VSKFs, and Chelsea and I were talking about, I was like, hear me out. I was like, let's build a hearse drift car. And she was like, dude, yes. She's like, I was looking at them before. I was like, I'm setting the Facebook alerts right now. Like we've been like, sending. And then I was like, we got to put some gangster wheels on it. She's like, what are you thinking? And I was like, VSKFs. She's like, I was fucking typing the same thing. So,
perfect.
Yeah. So maybe that would be a sick build, would be a hearse drift car with VSKFs, like slammed. I don't know, probably just keep it all black, just like classic. But yeah, if anyone's going to make it happen, it's her and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Denofa's
wife?
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Chelsea.
Yeah. Chelsea.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah.
So how did that relationship between y'all come together with Vaughn and RTR, all of them? Because you know them all, don't you?
We're acquaintances, I guess you could say. I mean, Vaughn has been obviously my hero since 2005. Like, as soon as I started getting into Mustangs and like seeing people do stuff with them and then getting into drifting, Vaughn was my automatic people's choice.
Yeah.
Over, JTP, because Vaughn's he's got that energy about him.
Yeah.
That is just wholesome, and you can tell he's just a good guy. So in like 2016, 2017, I think, was like the first time I went to an FD event and I stood in line and I got his signature. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. I had my 2012.
Fangirling it up.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I never really wear anyone's team shirts except for Fun Haver RTR. Like, that's the only team shirts I'll wear. So yeah, I don't know if you went back.
Fucked up.
If you went back and told that Morgan like what she'd be doing today, there's no way. Like, I didn't envision this lifestyle at that point. And then I think like last year really started. I was around them all the time. We're at all the same events, and they just became family. Like, everyone on the team, like the whole 30 lot collection of them. I don't know. I can call up any of them and ask anything, and they're willing to help and have a good time. Yeah. And slowly kind of just, I don't know. It happened. It felt like organically. Like, I'd hang out with like Milstein, and we were the same person, so we would just vibe.
Yeah.
And then it like slowly like, built from there. I think that it's obvious like the Mustang love is like a shared passion there, because they are, Vaughn is very Mustang Ford enthusiast. And it's not just for like the cameras or the money or whatever. I mean, he just loves what they put out. So that's kind of, it's, everyone hates Mustang people. So it's nice when we find each other, because then it's, I don't know, we're alike. It's like comforting.
Yeah. Mustang people outside of the drift community is a different story.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then Chelsea and I, we had hung out like a handful of times beforehand, and then I can't remember exactly like what the first moment was, but we kind of look similar, like the black hair and the tattoos. So we'd always kind of look at each other like, I want to be her friend, but like, I don't know how to approach her. And then I think we finally just were like, we just went from like 0 to 100. So yeah,
took one bump into each other.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh shit, sorry, I didn't see you there.
Yeah. So she's a good person, and then Pup is, the most loved drift dog I think out there. So
probably.
Yeah. Like Team Pup. But yeah, I mean, their presence is going to be missed in FD. Like, definitely taking it harder. Like, I think all of us ladies of FD are mourning her loss more than I think the dudes are mourning Chelsea's loss. So it'll be rough.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, they're still gonna do Mustang stuff. So I'll go and see them in February, like next month. So that'll be nice. But yeah.
Hell yeah. What's it like driving with them? Getting the tandem with them and stuff like that.
Something again I never could have dreamed of. The first time I drove with Vaughn in MRA last year, I was driving with Cash, like not like, Jonathan Cash, but Cash, like the young Fox Body kid. Yeah. And we were laying down back to back, like same exact line, same everything. And I was like, let's chill, because if Vaughn asked to drive with us, I'm not going to be able to. I'm like, I'm going to lose it. Like, I was like, I'm going to be so nervous. So we're in line, and I look up in my rearview mirror, and I see like Vaughn stationing with like Chelsea. Like,
I have a video clip of this. I never told you that. I have a video of this entire scene you're about to say.
Yeah. So I see it, and I'm like, Swan, please send us. Please send us. Like, I am like begging to be sent. And then I see him click and like zoom up, and I look over. And he's like, and I was like, I guess, because, I'm not going to say no. I was like,
I wouldn't either.
I have to say yes to this. So we take off. I black out. I don't remember that run at all. I am just laser focused in running the cleanest, slowest, widest line as possible.
Yeah.
So it's me and then Cash and then Vaughn. And then Cash and I pull off. And we are both like crying a little bit, because we're like, what just happened? And then Vaughn finds us, comes around, and is like, I'll lead now. And we both look at each other, and we were like, okay, like, great.
Yes.
So, and it was just in the Fox, which was nice, because it was like, I mean, I was with them on entry, and then again, I was just way in the back. But it was nice to have like the normal car, not the pro car. or the demo car, I should say.
Mhm.
So then at Ford Fest, like I was like, last year at Ford Fest, I was struggling with my line and I could not link from the bank to like the second switchback by the grid.
Yeah.
And Vaughn had tires to burn off and people were like, well, I only want to go when you're tandeming. And I was like, I'll get in the car. Like, I don't care. Like, you know, we're so used to it. I'm like, I just want to like see what this car feels like. And he's like, I don't usually tell people, but it's very loose. He's like, you know what you're doing. So he's like, it's not going to feel like the pro car. I was like, all right, cool. I'm just here.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And he just goes out and he like freestyles. And I was like, this is really fun. But I was like, hey, I was like, sorry to like bug you. But I was like, I can't link, like I can't keep it going. I have to like kind of reinitiate from the bank to like grid. And he was like, here's where I want you to put the car. You put it there. So I knew going in to the tandem with him at Ford Fest this year, or like last year, I guess, he knew my line because he taught me my line.
Yeah.
So I'm on grid and I see them coming on. And I think like, I don't think maybe Chelsea wasn't behind him. I couldn't remember. But I was going to drive with someone I've been wanting to drive with for a while. But I look over and I see the finger. And I was like, okay. I was like, press my GoPro, please.
Yes.
And then I just lock in. And he doesn't take it easy on me. And he definitely, like, he put it.
As he shouldn't.
Yeah. He put it, like, right on me. And then on the transition, like, he had to have touched the flame tips a little bit because they were so close. So it is a lot of fun.
He'll love on you.
Yeah, very sweet. It is a lot of fun. It's something like that's so crazy that, you know, to say I've tandemed with Vaughn Gittin Jr. like twice now, but hopefully there's more of that in the future. You know.
Oh
Yeah.
Well, not very many people can say that, so there you go. Let's get into the K&N stuff. So how did you acquire that job? We'll just start there.
So I met Chris Mady a couple years ago at PRI, and I kind of, you know, I didn't really know who he was. I didn't even know he was a K&N guy. He just came out to Tappers and we were like hanging out, talking. I offered to get his jacket for him because he almost forgot it. And he was like, that was really nice of you. And I was like, well, your jacket's over there.
It's a jacket, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. So then I think I found out later he was K&N guy. I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's kind of cool. And we just, he was, you know, there all night. We were just sharing jokes. He's kind of funny. Like, you know, don't tell him that. But
don't gas him up.
Yeah. We were hanging out and I it was Grid Life, Colorado, that he was coming out to, and like Lisa and like some of the team. So I got to meet like pretty much the whole team that I work with now. And I was joking around with him and I was like, hey, if you guys ever need any help at events, like I'd love to work with you guys. And he's like, you shouldn't have said that. And then he introduced me to his boss, which is now my boss. And I basically just like asked, I was like, can I work for you? And he was like, okay, yeah, I think so.
What?
Like, yeah. So it was one of those like, you never know, like, until you ask, and you should always ask for what you want, because the worst that they can say is no. But most of the time it winds up working, or later down the road it works out. So it did take a little bit of time for them to get like the budget together and like bring me on board, but this was like my first full year of working for K&N. And it's been great. Like the people I've met, the events, the places I've traveled, I've spent a lot of time in airports and airplanes.
Yeah.
So that's probably like the downside of it. But
can't be too bad.
It's not the worst. There's certain airports that I just don't.
Hey, I agree there.
Yeah. I don't go into. But yeah, I think, getting a job in motorsports, in the motorsports world, relies heavily on like your networking and the people you know and the people you surround yourself with, and the relationships you build. Because I think if I would have put my application in for this job, it just would have been hundreds of applications. Yeah, so that just would have been like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, applications are kind of useless in today's age, I think.
Yeah.
But word of mouth helps tremendously. Didn't you used to be do like Umbrella Girl stuff too, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep.
So how did that come about and then kind of
Um,
transfer? Was that even like a real job per se?
Not super like a real job. But it like Sarah ran the program, Sarah Harrow.
Yeah.
She obviously her and I are very, very good friends, sharing the Mustang passion.
Yeah.
And she ran the program. So a lot of the year that I did like the most of it was just we just wanted to hang out. So I would do more rounds than
Okay.
less to really just hang out with her. And um it was fun. It is really cool that they pick like girls that drift or girls in
Yeah.
motorsports versus, some of the companies will just go through the modeling agencies. But yeah, it's those outfits are just not fun to wear. It's like I would never do it
I
again.
don't doubt it.
But yeah, I think, that the people I started meeting though by going to more FDs and
Yeah,
being
put you in
around
the right
that.
places.
Yep, right place and right time.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I guess what do you say to the people that are trying to well, let's just go with women, to my 3% audience of women. I'm sure your audience is watching too, but what do you say to those people? Because I know your content's fast paced and
Yeah.
a lot of it's just driving.
Yeah.
So you don't get the opportunity to really talk to those people and tell them your advice. So what do you
Yeah.
say to women that are trying to follow that same path and just get into motorsports the correct way?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's terrifying. It's scary. Like you do have to just
It's a man, or however that song goes. I don't know.
it's not as easy as, like never give up because there's
Yeah.
going to be days where you want to and you just want to be like this isn't for me. It's not written in the stars. I believe in manifestation like very much. So
Mhm.
it's not a vision board on the wall, but it's if you're thinking about this is my goal, you're constantly subconsciously going to be working towards that goal. So I would say like everyone starts somewhere. My first car was a 350Z that was
Takes 21 days to make a habit.
yeah, exactly. My first car was like a riced out Z, and like the comments, the people, the things that were said, I never gave up. But again, there were days where I was like, I don't know if I can like deal with these kind of comments, these kind of people.
Yeah.
So it's about finding though too, like having the women in your corner that are there to help build you and grow with you. I've met some really amazing ladies this year, and there's no competition in the room when we sit together. It is all
That's dope.
just funneling, helping each other, like introducing each other to our contacts, because for like me to work with a company, they have to be excited about me and excited about women in motorsports. And then so I know that if I have a lady that impresses me or she wants a contact for this company, I can be like, yes, they are going to love you. So it's, again, I think it's just taking those opportunities, finding your like circle of women. I will talk to any girl that wants to come up and chat and get associated in this world. I'll introduce them to anybody. Zondara and I, she's in Prospect. We're doing this last year, was like the first like, I guess, event of it in Irwindale. She made this whole program, which is killer. We got like 20 tickets to give out for free, and it was all to
Damn.
women. So these women came out to FD Irwindale. We walked them around the paddock to every influential woman that's in that paddock, which it's filled. It's filled. It's with more women than men. They just hide because like we don't want to deal with the bullshit. So
Fair enough.
yeah. You have like Jen Horsey that is like on Turek's team. That is like amazing. Just
Yeah.
she'll get shit done. You have Lorette Nicole. I can talk about Lorette all the time. Like she's just a godsend from earth. She's the most bubbliest, nicest woman that has ever been made. You have Victoria of Vital Focus again. Best. They're all amazing women. But those are the people you have to like look to and work hard to be in the same room. as. And then once you are, you kind of just grow with each other instead of, I don't know. I think it's just one of those kind of chuggy.
What advice would you give to them just trying to get to that room, just trying to get into the same room with these people? Because like I know you have access to it.
Yeah.
So like I feel like that is something that, especially as content creators, we take advantage of, and we don't realize that like we've put ourselves in this place, so now we have it, and we kind of forgot about how hard it was.
Well, and that's why.
What steps were probably taken to ensure you got into those same rooms?
I think that's like why like it's so important to me to like, I guess, spread the wealth now that I have it. Again, like if you're a girl and you're interested in that and I am at an event, like come and talk to me. Like, because I will tell you basically everything I've done. And especially with like the content creation, my secrets are spilled. Like if a girl's like, hey, like, can I have help with creating content now? I'm like, yeah, like I don't have all the time in the world to do that right now, but
yeah, you come ask me because I do media for people.
Exactly. Plug.
Shameless as fuck. I don't care.
But yeah, I think that, next year Zondara is planning on trying to do that like women and FD thing at all the pro rounds.
Okay.
So finding like opportunities like that, like the Drift Kitchen events, the Sparkle Motion events. There's an event now, Girls Gone Drifting in Ohio at Killcare. Like getting to those events again. I think as a woman in motorsports, you need to put a lot more time and effort into the women relationships you have, more than like the men ones. Like I love my guy friends and my guy drifter friends, but the women are just like get shit done, and we can really build off each other.
Okay, watch it here. Hey.
no shade to them, but I think that's my best advice. Is it's hard. Like you have to have the confidence to walk up and ask things or talk to people, but
that's something that I'm not very good at. I don't like to just go up and talk to people, especially due to like PRI and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm interrupting everyone.
Yeah.
Unless they're literally just sitting there by themselves, and I feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah. That's what's hard is like I am really good at that.
Yeah.
I could talk to anyone about anything like 10 seconds into meeting them. So it's kind of like I can't really give advice on, that aspect, like how to talk to people.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's hard. It's something that if you want, like I said, if you want that life and you want to like do things like I do, the biggest thing is you have to be okay with being like a beginner too and embarrassing yourself. Like my first bit of content was stupid, but Do you
feel like that the content is necessary and it would be 10 times obviously it'd still be possible.
Yeah.
But it'd probably be 10 times harder without content to be able to make it in motorsports as a career?
Yeah. I mean, motorsports is fueled by marketing. 100%. That's what pays the bills.
Every industry is.
Yeah. So a lot of it is like my job is, partnership kind of like management, but also marketing and shows and events. So my resume was my platform that I built. They were like, oh, you know what you're doing. Obviously, it's a done deal. And the fact that I can just talk to anybody. And I low-key just bully people that come into the booth and I laugh and then they're like, oh, she's just being funny. And I'm like,
sort of.
Kinda. So yeah, yes and no. I mean, there are girls that I'm very close with that don't have thousands of followers, and I would still introduce them to the same people, the same partners that I have, versus the girls who are even above me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those, if you want to do content, you're that type of person, and you're going to do it, and at some point, it's a lottery, and it should pay off. But if you don't want to do content, and you want to be in those rooms, typically, like at our FD thing, there was one woman who, she was going to like tech school, and then she found tuning school. She's like, this is the best of both worlds. I can do tech and tuning. And now she tunes, I can't remember who it was, but they're in ProSpec and she's on their team.
No shit.
So yeah.
Have you seen anyone get involved mechanic wise as a female?
Yeah, Shelby Craxton is on RTR, and like she
Oh,
works
that's
hard.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She works hard.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's good. And there's a few others. I think I see a lot of girlfriends and wives wrenching on the cars sometimes, like especially in the pro spec level. But yeah, she might have been like the first like one that was like on a big team that, got that opportunity. And yeah, I watch her and I'm like, I'm tired just sitting here. I'm sitting in the AC room and I'm like, that looks terrible.
Screw that.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. So do you work on your car specifically?
Yeah,
I know
try.
some stuff like obviously might be out of your hands. There's some shit that's way out of my hands. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I do like to ask for help with certain things because safety.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't tighten my bolts.
Sure, is you just not being scared?
Like Ford Fest, like 2 Ford Fests ago, when I pulled up and I was like, Matt, get in my car. I was like, it's making this noise. So like, I don't have the expertise to diagnose things or like kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I do try to do most of the work myself. Like at events, typically I am in the suit, jacking the car up, changing the wheels. But in MRA, when my handbrake or one of my caliper bolts backed out, I got the wheel off, and thankfully, again, Mustang people, they're just kind of the nicest. Yeah. Everyone ran over and they saw the caliper hanging and they were like, what can we do? Like, what can we do to help this? So it's a balance, but typically like my dad I teach him things more now than he teaches me. So he can't really help either. And I have Mustang people that I call, like Eddie in California. I'll be like, I have this going on right now. What do I do? But as far as most of the wrenching goes, like I've had help in the past, but now it is.
When you boil down to it, the basic stuff that you have to do consecutively or you're doing on your own.
Yeah. And I try to. I think when I didn't work on my car, like when, I had the G and stuff, I had a lot of help building it from my ex, and like I had no mechanical knowledge of it, and it almost made me more timid of a driver. Mm-hmm. And then when Scotty and Matt and I did the angle kit, which again, I just feel like this is the Let's Talk About Matt and Scotty podcast. But they're the best kind of guys because they didn't do it for me. Mm-hmm. They said, we're going to teach you and we're going to help you and like you're going to understand it. And that is what is important to me, because when someone's like, I'll just do it to make it faster, I'm like, no, don't touch my car then.
No.
But once I like started installing that stuff myself, I feel like it turned me into a better driver, because then I'm like, I don't know. It's like, the components you're working with, like, know the tools you have in the toolbox versus.
Makes things more efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't comprehend the full length of what happens underneath the car until I did a full swap.
Yeah.
I can sit there and I can point out even before the swap, like that's that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But you don't understand how they piece together.
Yeah.
And how everything actually connects, how the slip yoke, if you have one on your drive shaft, actually goes in. You don't really see that until you take a drive shaft out.
Yeah.
And most of the time you don't do that until you're doing an engine swap anyway. So
it's hard to too, like when someone's like asking you about your car and you're like, I don't know, like, I still don't know like every little thing, but it just like blowing up the driver's side of the 2-valve, like the head on the driver's side, taught me a lot about 2 valves. And definitely just the more work you can do yourself, the better. But like, I am not opposed to asking for help and looking like an idiot. Like,
the only reason I bring that up is because of the whole argument over car girls, not just in drifting, but just in the cars in general, how they'll make content revolving around them putting a wheel on or something, claiming that they wrench on their car, and then you go to an event and you see their boyfriend doing literally everything. And it's like, okay, you're just playing the game. Got it.
Yeah.
So what's your argument, or what you think about that argument?
I mean, it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, she's going to get it how she lives. I don't, it's hard because
I got my own opinions on it, so that's why I want to hear yours. We're on the same boat right now.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's her doing it for the camera. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like she's working hard on other things, whether it be researching the algorithm, like knowing what to use, like knowing what to show.
Yeah.
And people who aren't car people, like they'll fizzle out and they'll phase out, and it is what it is. But most of the women I know that drift, they're like constantly working on their own cars and doing everything themselves. But now I tell you what, when you get someone that, like, when you have a pit crew, when you've made it where you don't have to touch the car at events, that's the dream. That's the goal right there.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Okay, so a woman that's doing that just for content purposes, I think that's kind of dumb. Like, don't do it just to flaunt it and it not be true.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. If that's your flex, that's why you make money. So be it. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Props to you. As a guy driving, the whole goal is to, well, for most people, is to build a car, build a career in drifting to where you can focus on the career, not the car.
Arrive and
you
drive.
can be the driver.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So this whole argument that guys have on girls that get into drifting and don't work on their car,
yeah,
is fucking hilarious. Because it's like, I get it. Yeah,
I mean,
I'd rather you work on your own car, especially if you're like still in the startup of it.
Yeah.
But like the whole goal is to not be able to work on your car or not have to.
I think the main thing, like a lot of hate comes from jealousy. It's like the same emotion.
Oh, it's like the KBD shit.
Yeah, so it's like, you wish that was you, huh? Like you wished you had someone to like.
I just heart them and move along.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, my goal would be to find someone, male or female, preferably probably female, just to women empowerment and give someone that opportunity to be in those rooms with me.
Yeah.
Have them like come to every event and be my dedicated, like maybe even a couple, a filmer, a wrencher. If I'm on grid and I do a run, I want to be able to get, especially with the new car, get in the helmet and say, I need to be bumped down 7 PSI. Like, I'm ice skating.
Floater,
mm-hmm.
almost.
So it's, that's the goal. That I'll know when I've made it whenever I have like 2 or 3 people around me that are just there to help me succeed and focus on being the driver. Because at some of those events, it's hot and I'm in the suit and I get out and I'm like, I don't have the energy to put the jack under the car and take the wheels off or, check something that's loose. Like, I just get out and I die in the chair in the trailer. So,
give me 5. I don't know.
Yeah. So that is funny though. Yeah. It's, they get a little worked up over that, but it's like, I'm more jealous of it than anything. I'll see that and I go, I wish that was me. Like, I wish I had someone that could just be my pit crew. So applications are open. It's not a paid gig right now, but I'll introduce you.
I'll pay for your ticket in.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, so would you say that it is easier for a woman to make a career out of drifting rather than a man? Because before you answer that, because a lot of people will say that, all you got to do is flaunt your shit on social media, get a few views, and la companies love you. I don't think that's like 100% true. It's
a double-edged sword. Flaunting your shit, like, that's the argument, right? Oh, you have boobs?
Yeah.
Yeah. My content...
I didn't want to bluntly say it, so...
Yeah. My content, I am most of the time fully clothed, like in baggy clothing, nonetheless.
Now, you play it a little bit with your little intros. You'll do the whole zip-up shit.
That's my hair,
jacket,
though, really, than anything.
That's like... nothing compared to what some of these girls I hear do. It's just fucking wild.
The Instagram algorithm too. It gets mad if it can't pick up a face, detect a face, and it's just a car. So I do have that, and it does help. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know when I use that intro, it's gonna do rounds. But I do, like, if I'm working on the car, I'm usually in like a men's 3XL and like sweatpants, and that's like, I don't film a lot of it because I'm like, I look like a homeless person that wandered into somebody's garage.
Half the time, I just don't even want to touch the camera while I'm doing shit like that.
So, I mean, I think on the is it easier? Yes and no. some of the companies I've gotten have come on board because they love to support women in drifting. Like Justin of Status, when we first met, he was like, I would just want to help out any women in drifting I can. And he didn't even know my numbers. Like I think I had maybe 7,000 on Instagram. Like I was not cooking.
Yeah.
So that again puts you in really good situations. But man, the things people have said in my comments, behind my back, like publicly, not publicly, like.
Are there any specific you want to say, or you just want to leave that alone?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
you ain't gotta call their name out or anything.
No.
But
give me the
like,
list.
what's the wildest one you've gotten? I guess.
It's more or less like, for some reason, it's like that one person knows somehow in the universe that you're having a bad day already, and they hit you in a spot, like, and you know, someone was like horse teeth, and I was like, that's a new one, and I was already like feeling bad that day, and I was like, dang, all right. Or when I started on TikTok, I did controversial content in a sense, I guess. Like I would post silly memes, like, you know, me putting my wheels back on when my engine's blown up, like taking the wheels off and putting it back on, you know.
Okay, yeah.
And I used a chrome socket in the video on a Harbor Freight Impact.
Every time.
Dude.
What do you mean? Who cares?
That reel went to like, I don't know, 700K views, or the TikTok did, just because people were arguing about chrome sockets in my comments. So, and it is like, you can only hear
what
like
a joke.
like I knew, like, again, it doesn't matter. Like I'm using it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But when you get it again and again of people being like, God, this is a dumb bitch, you're like,
what are we
okay.
gonna do? Break a socket? So what?
Yeah. Like
we've got extras because it's for our lug nuts.
Yeah. So, you know, it's dealing with that, like dealing with comments made about your appearance, comments made about any little thing you said. Like you say one thing wrong and, you know, you're obliterated on the internet for having a shitty opinion. I don't know if I can cuss on here.
Oh, I've been cussing the whole time. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the first 15 seconds. Yeah. That's all we gotta worry about.
So yeah, like I think that dudes don't face as much of that backlash. So I'd say they have it easier there. But I think, you know, maybe us as women, it's just the pool's not as saturated.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit more leadway. And again,
I think people are more quick to check women when they're wrong on social media.
Yeah.
When it comes to cars.
Yeah.
Rather than guys. Because, like,
yeah.
a lot of times, like, I'll get some jokes and stuff, but people won't really well on me.
I had that one reel do views that the trend was, so you drift, and I put like a 350Z or something, because when you ask if someone drifts, typically it's a 240, a 350Z.
Yeah.
That's just the car. So I put or something, and it was my Mustang. And people thought I was talking crap on 350Zs, but I'm like, guys, I started in one, basically just a sedan version, which was even worse. And I'm like, and one of my best friends drives one, and you know, she kills it. So I'm like, it's just the trend. But you know, I had one girl, and she was like, oh wow, like you're tearing down women in the community. And I was like, I never delete comments. But that one I deleted, and that one sat with me for a few days. I thought about it because that's the furthest thing from what I do and who I am. And I was like, you know.
You don't ever give it time to let your followers handle those people for you?
Most of the time, yes. Most of the time,
because that dude.
Yeah.
If I get some moron, and I made a reel about VQs being the best V6 on the planet.
Yeah.
And some dude had the audacity to say a fucking Eclipse V6 was the best V6 on the planet. I didn't know what to say. Yeah. I literally just messaged back. I was like, this has to be a joke. Like, there's no way this is serious. And dude, as soon as I got done with that, I didn't look at it again until hours later. Like the end of the night, it was probably like 11 p.m. And I checked it, and all of the subscribers are just fucking wailing on this dude. Like, you're fucking retarded. What the hell? Just because it's in some his point was because it was in Fast and Furious. Like, that was his main argument.
Yeah, like that's just, you know, that's what I mean though. Is like the people, it's always the people who like don't have anything that are like the quickest to talk and make those comments, and you're just like, what are you talking about? But as I don't respond to a lot of hate comments because that's what they want. It's almost like they might not think that, you know, the comment they're saying, but they know like that'll be an in to like start a conversation with me, or they want that notification, serotonin is what I call it. So like they see that little one and they're like, oh, what is that? Like she's responding to me. So typically
that's a good way to put that, actually.
Yeah. Notification serotonin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that. I always just explain it as like the bully effect, where like if you want your bully to stop messing with you, stop letting him mess with you.
Exactly. I think that, you know, there would be some people that'll they'll even give them as much attention to screenshot those comments and post on their story and then make a whole TikTok about it. Yeah. And I'm like, you're feeding into exactly what they want right now.
He who cares the least wins the most.
Yeah. So I let most of those slip. Like I said, I never delete, but that one I was like, that's not me. I'm all about my ladies. Like I said, it doesn't matter who you are. I did like the SEMA Businesswomen Networking lunch at PRI, and there were people in there that were on Street Outlaws, and there were people on there who were at a college student at UNOH that just started drifting, and I talked to them the same way, and I am like just stoked that we're all in that room together. So it's like that's not me. That's me. That's doing that stuff is what I'm about. Like the networking for women, bringing anybody in, giving them a seat at the table is the goal.
Gotcha. So do you ever plan on doing something with your platform personally, as like what you said, what's her name does for the FD events?
Zondara.
Like some type of organization that dedicates, you know, effort directly towards women.
That would
events or whatever.
That's kind of, you know, like the hot girl drifting. Because like hot girl is not about your looks. It's 100% about your personality. So like, you know, because there's
that's
been
what's on your suit, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And like the back of the car and stuff. There's been a few people that are like, well, I don't think and I'm like, it's about just you being like, I guess like sweet enough to be like, I don't know if I can. I'm like, that's you. Like you're in. So that I started that brand with the intention, and then my socials started taking off, and you know, you can only spread so thin. So I would love to like have that be like the organization that like steamrolls all of that. And maybe this year I can find time to dedicate to it, or get someone to help dedicate that aspect. But yeah, like I'd love to be able to like use some of my following to showcase other women. It's just Mustang specific. Like I said, it's not really drifting specific. So it is like they see a 240 and they're like
niche down.
Yeah. So very loyal niche.
I like the attitude you look for though, because I think that weeds out a lot of the nonsense people, especially because like most of the time, if a woman's like very over the board excited to get into drifting, they're more than likely just doing it for clout or doing it for some other bullshit reason.
Yeah.
And they end up through with it in a couple months.
Yeah.
Or they wreck the car and then they're done. So finding those people that are like, I want to, but like I'm genuinely scared and frightened to do it because of whatever reason it is.
Yeah.
To me, that shows that the passion for it is actually there.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of like reversed. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that. I think like, I mean, I kind of went, I'm going to do this. I don't care what anybody says, but that's my personality is like, if I have an idea, I go for it. And I, you know, sometimes I don't always think the ideas through, and that's,
I mean, yeah, but you still had a period of like, fuck, should I? I don't know. Well, like you questioned yourself.
Yeah, and that's what
you weren't just one of those women that like, oh, that looks fun. I want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it.
I mean, for the longest time, I was like, I can't do that. You know, there's all kinds of things like my best friend and I talk about. Drifting, you really have to like it to continue doing it because it is so much bullshit. Like,
oh yeah,
the highs are highs and the lows are very
not
low.
even that, it's just too fucking expensive.
Yeah. So if you are doing it for the wrong reasons, typically they just fizzle out and they'll move on to something. But it's also, I don't know if you like, guys can pick up drifting so much quicker than girls can. And that's just because the tools, guys grew up playing video games, doing hand-eye coordination stuff. You know, a lot of girls didn't have that. So that's something too I try to teach in clinics and stuff is like, I've looked at a dude and been like, how did he get it in 2 events? And it took me 6 months of driving. But again, I
even down to the barest of that argument, it's statistically easier for a man to learn how to drive stick than a woman.
Yeah, it's just we're not taught hand-eye coordination as much. I think moving forward, I think our generation is teaching kids differently.
Yeah.
But like when I grew up,
you played with dolls, we played with army guns and shit
like
that.
you
so
went
we were constantly
paintball gunning. You know, like you did like more things that required you to use all of your brain. And then I think though I got into video games at like 14, and I think that's kind of why I like maybe progressed quicker than most other women is because I was like I was a dog on like those games. Like I could mess people up, but
I hate video games. So
I and then the sim, that's an argument as old as time. You know, get a sim, like invest in it. I started out with a Logitech and it helped. Now I'm on a Thrustmaster, which I even want to upgrade that, but yeah, I got off on a tangent there, but
no, you're good.
That's my thoughts. I think that it is personality. It's just being humble, and that's not even being humble in the way of like the quotes online. It's just being able to look like a beginner, being like, I'm okay with this. Like, it's going to be scary, but you have to be okay with being embarrassed.
Yeah. Is that the main reasoning you get from women that approach you with it? Is just being embarrassed?
Yeah, a lot of them are, oh, what are they going to say when I spin out? And I'm like, yeah, but they're saying it from the bleachers.
Such a girl thought.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a guy thought too, because there's plenty of people that have sat right there and said that same shit. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's that you're out there and they're not.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's, do you want to be out there? And it's intimidating. I think too, like, wrecking is a scary thought. Like, that's terrifying.
Get that first one over with though.
Yeah. I didn't have that fear. I don't know why.
Really?
Never had it.
Had you ever been in a wreck before on the street?
Yeah, I didn't total, but I got dang close on my 350Z. I took a turn too fast and I drifted unintentionally, blew the airbags and everything. And maybe it's because it wasn't that bad that I was like, oh. But
I've brushed right past every wreck that I had on the street, and then I wasn't like, I mean, I was nervous to like hit something, but like that was more for money reasons, like cost reasons. I didn't really care about the car getting hurt. I could fix that.
Yeah.
But like, once I got the first real wreck out of the way, I was like, we're good. We're good. Let's send it.
Yeah. I just like, I don't drive above my means, so I kind of know my level. And like, it's like going to the gym. Like, you're not going to go in and stack 4 plates your first day. You're going to go 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. Like, and you kind of have that self-awareness to know when you can start pushing. But my ex used to say that I had the Chelsea pedal effect, where like, I'll drive at a wall, like, and I never think, what if the car doesn't initiate? Or like, I don't look at the wall and go, ooh, like, I just initiate. And then I'm like, all right, we're like cooking. There has been times where I would say like I had the pucker effect where I'm like, oh, that was kind of scary. But like Midwest, I knew I don't have a speedometer, but I knew that I was starting to like get going like faster when I was like, this kind of frightening, like a little bit, but it's not like, oh, I'm going to wreck. I'm just, okay, I'm pushing.
Yeah. It feels like one small move and I'm toast. Yeah.
And it's now though, like that I'm in the suit and the Hans and the harness, especially when I have the cage.
Yeah.
I think that's going to do worse for me because I'm just going to be like, I'm invincible.
More claustrophobic almost.
I don't, my biggest fear was The only time I was afraid was like not the car hitting the wall or anything. It was not having a Hans in my neck.
Oh, like whiplash.
Yeah,
Okay.
whiplash or just,
Yeah.
dying.
Well,
Head
goes flying off. I don't know, something like that maybe.
So yeah, like now that I have that stuff, I do feel like more invincible. So I'm like, I can enter however hard I want to enter. Yeah. I think a lot of women though, they haven't experienced a car accident or like, I don't know, there's people that will get in my truck and trailer and I'm doing like 80 or, 90 and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, we're good. Like, it's just planted.
Shut up. Look at your phone.
Yeah.
Watch TikTok or something.
Like the trailer gives me more like, it plants the truck more in my opinion. So I'm like, I can go however fast.
Yeah. Put some bigger wheels on the truck too.
Oh yeah.
And dude, it'll make a truck drive like a fucking dream.
I
threw 22. I had 22s on my truck at one point, and once I threw those on, they're like twice the weight of the I think 17s that are on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The truck drove like a fucking Cadillac. It was insane.
I know. The truck build is happening this year with some wheels and then like a moderately skinny tire, not like rubber bands, but that kind of helps like the roll.
Yeah.
Because like right now the truck, I can feel it. I can feel the tires roll a bit. Like I don't like that.
That's how mine are.
Yeah.
Really tall. They're just street tires too, but they're tall as fuck. They're
yeah.
Like 65 or 70 sidewall.
Yeah. Towing a, almost 28-foot enclosed with an F-150, a 9-foot ceiling as well.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's rough, but it works.
Wow.
It works.
That's a big trailer for that truck. What are those? What's the tow capacity on those?
I did hit it. I did like I was, I don't know, a couple 100 pounds off. I put my 2014 Tahoe in that trailer and then towed it with the F-150. But I'll tell you what, it acted like there was nothing back there. I had to set it correctly to where, because I have a RAS on the back, the road activated suspension. So I don't do bags. I just have like the helper spring, I guess you could say, that makes my leaf springs constantly lifted. And then I have the throttle control module from K&N, which is, it just changes the pedal input. Without that, I think I'd be struggling. But with it on like tow and the button on like sport, I just take off at a light like there's nothing attached to the truck. And that's
pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's the Coyote. So it has the torque, but it would be a smoother ride through the hills if I had the EcoBoost.
Gotcha. So. Yeah. Those EcoBoosts sound cool as
they
fuck.
Do. And my truck, if I'm trying to go uphill with that trailer, that's the only time you feel any trailer going uphill. But I'll be in like second gear doing like 60. So it's like screaming.
Yeah. My old Silverado that I had had almost 300,000 miles, and just with an open 18-foot trailer with the 350Z on it, just bone stock basically. Oh, it would just start coming down. As soon as I go up a hill.
Yeah.
You couldn't keep it up. Yeah. It's bad. But so is there anything that, like, as a whole, the drift community could do to make women more accepted to drifting, or is it already done and it's just like...
That's a good one.
Women just need to buck up. I don't know.
I think that, I think there are some people that there's some, events that are more, the people are more accepting to the women drifting than others. I mean, in places, it's just chuggy though, but like the people, typically the people at the top like aren't worried about shit like that. So like in the FD paddock, of course you have Kelsey, you have Zandara, and Amanda, and like there are those comments, it's a girl, like whatever.
Yeah. But
for the most part, they are treated the same in every aspect, and they're welcomed. They have a seat at the table. There's no weirdness to it. Again, the women of FD, like everyone. And then you go to like a grassroots event, and you do see that a little bit. Like you see some of like the side eyeing or the comments, and you're like, the people up here like don't care. So like, why do you care what's going on? Like, the track, like your homie that's just starting out is going to spin out just as much as she will.
Yeah.
Like, or vice versa. I don't know. I think that there's just certain areas.
It's just the ignorance of the people down in the grassroots level that don't understand the way the big guys are, especially understanding that they're still normal fucking people.
Yeah.
Like, they still complicate things just as much as we do.
Yeah, it is. It's no different. Like when we run the Drift Kitchen events, we have closed track times for women only. And there has been those guys that are like, they're taking it away from us. And it's like, we get 1 day a year, dude, at this track to do this. You can't like chill for like 6 hours and just let us do this. And then
what's the difference in taking this track time for beginners only?
Exactly.
And you're still going to bitch about that too.
Those same guys are the guys though that will post Ben Hobson and Sonny and go, goals. Well, we have to start them somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, she kind of shreds.
Oh, the new car is insane.
Yeah.
She is good. She's a lovely person. Her and Ben are made.
I haven't gotten to meet her, but Ben, obviously, we all know. Ben's fucking amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, like that's like the main thing I've heard is just that we take track time away from them or whatever it may be, but it's less now than I would say like 3 or 4 years ago. And I think that is thanks to more women getting more serious about it, and being, in comps or being like front runners or inspiring other women, and showing like that we can be in it for the right reasons and we can hang with the boys and it's not weird. Like,
yeah.
So yeah.
Just like being a tom girl when you were little, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't know if you were, obviously, but
skateboarding. So yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good. That's good advice. So I guess we'll go with your best advice to just anyone getting into drifting, period, at this point.
I think it's just the tone I've had of just like whatever you're going to start in. Like the car. Like enjoy what you're driving, because that's the quickest way, in my opinion, to be like, I hate this.
Burnout.
Yeah.
Not taking it too serious, because that's what everyone else says. Taking it too serious, overbuilding your car, all that stuff.
I just don't have the
love
time
what you drive.
To care about. Yeah. love what you
Keep drifting fun, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Just have fun and yeah, love what that was my experience. So that's why I go off of it.
Yeah.
So
good. Awesome.
Yeah.
We tend to preach what we were raised on, not raised,
or learn the hard way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the like if you start drifting with a group of friends that all have 350Zs, you're gonna end up with a fucking 350Z because like you can just share parts and like it's just you go with what you know.
Yeah.
But all right, well, I started this last episode with Enjuku being the presenting sponsor, so we'll go with. Well, I'll let you choose. Do you want to do the New Edge or the S197? I guess I should lay the rules out first. But so you have a bone stock of one of those cars, whichever one you want to choose, and you have $5,000 to spend on Enjuku's website. And what are you going to be buying to get the car ready for your first track day? The car's bought, it's paid for, but you got $5,000 for parts.
Oh, that's what's hard because.
We'll consider you have tires this time. Yeah. Because last time I didn't.
So are we saying like, do they have like, because the Mustang's a hard world, right? Like Scotty's stuff isn't.
That's the point. So whatever guest comes on, they have to go based off of what car they drive. So that way, it's not the same fucking car over and over again. People get different.
Oh
avenues.
Man, Enjuku. I use them a lot when I had the G35.
Yeah,
a lot, but Mustang is like
big on Nissan parts.
yeah. The Mustang is, you can't really pick a lot of things from standard companies because they're not a dealer for them.
Yeah.
Oh, Um, I'd probably get a big wing. I know they got those on there.
To get to your first event?
Oh, hell yeah. Give me a big wing.
Most people would say like coilovers or a bucket seat or stuff like that.
Give me the wing. Yeah, bucket seat's a good one. I can't drift in a stock seat because I slide everywhere.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff that you will need that's not necessarily Mustang specific.
So yeah, like coilovers, stock seat, fire extinguisher. Oh, you know what else I would do? An air intake. Do I have like a helmet? Well, let's say no, a helmet. So a helmet off their sight. Yeah, I mean the wing though. Like you have to have that. It's like because like I'm getting into drifting from watching Tokyo Drift. So like I want my car to look like that. You know what I mean? That's the vibe.
I'm not a big wing guy, but Country Labs commented on my fucking pictures the other day and was like, "Hear me out, big wing," and it's got me contemplating.
Yeah, for the S197, they're like who I'm choosing. And they do have like a sponsorship page, but I'm like, I gotta get the car like looking okay first. But the people that put the S197, like the big Country Lab wing on, I'm like, that's it. Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah. It's growing on me a lot.
Yeah, it has its like time and place. I think on like certain cars it doesn't work as good, but when I see a drift car, like it's the way that the smoke like comes through the wing. Yeah. Oh, like it's
a vibe.
That looks cool.
I get that.
Okay, so I have wing, I have bucket seat, helmet, fire extinguisher, coilovers. What do you think I'm at?
That's probably, I'd say about 335.
Underglow. Underglow. They got that on there, I assume, right? Yeah.
No angle kit.
JK probably. I can't. They wouldn't unless they have Scotty D on yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
That makes it hard.
FDF. I'm a big FDF guy. I know I do their media, but
I mean, I love Josiah, but I just I can drive to Matt and Scotty in one day in a few hours, and I can bang on their door when something goes wrong. Can't do that with Josiah. He's in Canada. And two, like, Matt can handle the way I yell at him.
Matt's good people.
Yeah, the things I say. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, we don't have to keep. Yeah,
I think that's like starter day stuff. I mean, yeah, I would. I think the big wing though. You have to have that. It's the first priority. First priority.
Aesthetics.
Yeah.
Always. Paint matched or not, you're just gonna leave it bare.
Oh, I like I like black wings and then like stickered sides.
What
do you mean? Like,
so like an actual big wing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
Yeah. No, never mind. Huge, huge drift wing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, cool. All right.
Yeah.
I guess that works. Not the most like, what's the word?
Textbook answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I had fire. I get points for the fire.
Influential answer.
Yeah.
Don't.
You should take my advice. Take my advice.
Don't do that.
Take my advice. The first thing you
do it at your own will.
I have a video that I've filmed and I need to like put out, and I'm gonna drop that in there now. It's like what you need for your first drift day, because a lot of women want that. Like, how do I get started? Like, what do I need to bring?
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna put a big wing. eBay.
Just quote it from the podcast. Pull the clip from the podcast and then do it.
Like, it starts at God.
It may end up a reel. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool Cats does my media. So
it starts out with like, hey, like I'm Morgan Drifts. Like, what do you need to bring to your first drift day? Put that clip in. Video ends. Just big wing.
And then go straight into just you driving.
Yeah.
I swear, all of your content is just driving
with no big wing. Yeah. This year, this year, the goal is to be more educational and have more, like,
I think that'll help what you're pushing better.
Yeah.
The driving content can only do so much for you.
It'll show more of like who I am and my personality and stuff like that. But, I just, that everything takes time. And last year I just traveled a ton and didn't have a lot of time. So this New Year's resolution, is just time management more and be able to get more beneficial content out and talk more and, do cool things.
Hell yeah.
So.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I hope it works out for you.
Hope so.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the sub questions.
Okay.
All right. So, Dustin Keene. Do you know who that is?
Ooh. I don't know.
The
It
name
sounds
sounds
familiar.
familiar
Yeah.
too, but I've seen your name pop up plenty of times. So he says, when are you going to start comp driving? Which we kind of touched on.
Yeah.
But
I would like to try one or two because for some reason, if I get put under pressure, I perform. Like when someone's like,
that's how I was in baseball back in the day.
Yeah, it's like, if I'm very good at, I feel like this year, I can put the car where I need it to go. It might not be the smokiest run, but I can get it in the zones. I can, kiss the cone with the front bumper without knocking it over. Like, it would be fun. And it would be fun to just see who I am in that setting. But I don't, pro spec, never on the table for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's never something I want to do. More of a, demos at Grid Lifes and Ford Fest, Mustang Week, Ponies in the Smokies, stuff like that.
Nice. Okay.
So probably never, but maybe once.
I'm interested in more Grid Lives and stuff like that. I honestly think the comp side of it is more or less dying than anything.
Yeah. There's a want for it and a need for it, and it's good to watch.
Yeah.
But I'm
professional stuff will always stay, but
yeah.
Like Riverside and
yeah.
Clutch Kickers, obviously that.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Big R.I.P. Oh. Hell yeah. So have you inspired any other ladies to get their own car after giving them a ride along? We kind of touched on that too.
Yeah. That is a good one. I know I've had women tell me like, you inspire me. I'm going to start doing this. I gave Syndit Shay, a ride along at Ford Fest. She's a Mustang girl, lives here, close to here.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, big drag racing girl. And then she rode in my car and she's like, dude, I'm getting one. She's like, I don't know when.
Switching sides.
Yeah. So she said it probably won't happen this year, but I told her, I said, it doesn't happen overnight. So I was like, get an SN95 two valve. Because she has an SN95 and not a new Edge though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've definitely, people have told me I've inspired them. I've had a couple guys say it, surprisingly.
No
so
shit.
One guy, kind of backhanded. He said, I saw your content and I thought if she could do it, then I could. And I was like, that didn't land the way you thought it did.
Yeah. Yeah, he was hyping that one phrase up the whole way to you, and then he said it and it just flopped.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
That's kind of rude, bro.
A little bit. It didn't land. So.
All right. Well, what car is she's gonna get a Mustang then?
I think so. Probably. I mean,
we're like dead set on that.
We're big, yeah. Big Mustang people.
Anyways. And then Zero Pulp, whatever that name is. What was your first car?
Ooh, I don't. Embarrassing.
Who cares?
No, I know it was like a Saturn Aura.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I put 212 subs in the trunk.
Yeah, my dad had one of those.
It was comfy.
Yeah.
It was like I think it's the same as an Impala, but it just looked a little bit cooler to me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I want a 350Z. So then went that route.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then Zach Robles, whatever. 19. Advice you would give a younger you.
I don't know. I feel like I don't ever have anything where I'd go back and be like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Be like, you can't live with regrets. You just take each day as a new one. And
even some of the most fucked up scenarios in my life, I still appreciate them. So
they make you are. They've made you into that person. So I would use it for betting.
I go Back to the Future. Go get the little book.
Yeah. I'm not being sappy. I'm getting a FanDuel account a couple years earlier, and I am I'm going
taking notes.
I'm going to town on them bets.
Hell yeah.
So.
All right. Well, you got any last closing words for anyone out there?
I don't know. I'm excited, for this year. I think the events and stuff that are going to go on are going to be sick. There's a lot of things in the works for me that shit I never could have dreamed of doing that I still don't think it's real. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, this is a dream and I'm probably in a coma somewhere and I'm going to wake up at some point. But yeah, I think that, I just want to like preach, like if you're a girl and you want to drift, if you want to hang out, like my DMs, like they're hard sometimes, I'd love to have someone manage those, but I don't always see those. But if I'm at an event, come and talk to me. Come and ask for a ride along. My seat is always open for ladies. And yeah, if you want to work for me for free, for fun, I'm pretty funny. And I have a nice truck, so.
It's like Mario on TikTok. Do you know who that dude is? Follow me, I'm pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. Fuck you guys, follow me, I'm pretty funny. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, well, I guess that's pretty much it on that one. Do you want to plug yourself, people, anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Morgan_drifts on everything. So I need to do better on YouTube. That's a goal. I just don't post on it. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, thank you guys if you're watching this and you're one of the people that got me to 100K last year. Like that's still insane to me.
Now help me. Go hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, follow him. If you want to see more drifting content, especially because I know it's starting to trickle in slowly. But especially like the clips of me driving with Vaughn, I think that's what's doing it. But yeah, like just thank you guys for the support because it's so sappy, but like I wouldn't be here without any of them or you or any of like anyone who's like even just lent a helping hand in the past. So yeah, I'm just grateful.
Hell yeah. Gotta be.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's pretty much it for this one. So, like I just said, go ahead, hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell notification as well. And don't forget, tomorrow is the last day for you to get entered in the $250 Enjuku money. One person will be picked as long as you order one by the 15th. So do that. Appreciate you guys that have supported already. And then, actually, almost any of the parts and stuff that we talked about, because you work at K&N, any of that stuff, you can find it on Enjuku, like we said.
Oh, I messed up.
What?
When you gave me the 5,000, I should have said an air intake. I'm going to be fired.
Oh.
So anyone who's hiring...
just say, oh, and an air intake, and then we'll just like take that little clip and throw it up there.
Oh, you know what else I would do? An air intake.
There you go. All right. Now, do the magic. All right. Well, yeah, now you got it. That's it. So if you want any of those parts, of course, go to Enjuku. They have it. It's linked below in the description. But that's all we got. See you each Sunday for a new episode. Peace.